Hey there everyone, GuardianE here with just a quick little video for Azur Lane. Just because I feel like these are important to highlight whenever they roll around, just to sort of encourage participation. So Yostar dropped another survey on us, specifically regarding the parallel superimposition event that's currently live, and I thought, hey, you know, why not complete this together, share my responses with all of you. Again, just remind everybody to kind of fill one of these out. Frankly, you know, I wish more games did these surveys. We have until January 5th to complete it. Now, I know everyone's busy during the holidays, but I do think that if you do have the time, everyone should really try to complete this if they can. It's a valid and constructive way to get your voice heard, and it's clear to me, at least, that Yostar and Maju listen to this feedback, and they act on it, you know, where they can and where it makes sense. It takes time for some of this stuff to filter through, get approved, tested, implemented, but I do have confidence that they really do listen to this stuff, especially following the last survey that they did and the feedback that they received. So, you know, let's help them make the game better. Now, I'm going to be filling this out from a browser. I did copy the link from in-game. There's a notification in-game that takes you to the survey via a link. And actually, the welcome page to the survey that we have pulled up here right now features a QR code that links directly to the survey too. So I think I'll just snip that and actually put that on the inlay in case you wanted to follow that to the survey. But of course, you can just access it through the in-game link as the notice comes up. And I'll also have a link in the description below. So with that, let's get started. Azur Lane survey, parallel superimposition version. Dear Commander, thank you for taking part in the survey. Your answer will be essential for us to provide more exciting content in the future, so please answer with care. Please rest assured you value privacy, and your answer will be used for our internal analysis only. Survey will be closed on January 5th. Okay, so they're just going to first ask for your server and your user ID here, so I'm going to pop that in. How long have you played Azur Lane? Over 4 years. Over 4 years. God, it doesn't feel like that long, but yeah, wow, over 4 years. How satisfied are you with the overall content of parallel superimposition? I would say I'm very satisfied with the ships that were introduced, with the gear, the story segments, the mini games, the skins certainly, the fact that the skins have their own little side stories as well, like all that stuff. I think they did a really great job with this event. Based on your current game experience, how likely is it that you will continue to play Azur Lane? I'd say very likely. How do you feel about each part of the parallel superimposition update? New skins, Christmas series. I would say they're satisfying. Limited time event stages, I would say that they're satisfying. Nothing like out of the ordinary or anything, but I would say pretty satisfying. New skin swimsuit series, very satisfying, very satisfying. New ship girls, I would say very satisfying as well. It's done. All right. Next up, which aspect of parallel superimposition event are you unsatisfied with or think can be improved? I mean, nothing's really changed with the event stages from past events, so I mean, I'm generally satisfied, but at the same time, like, I guess if they were to make any changes, I guess point efficiency, maybe? I mean, it's always nice when you are able to just get more rewards quicker, generally speaking, especially for people that don't have time. Definitely not difficulty, no issues there. Maybe the map drops. I mean, they could always increase the map drop performance. You know, but otherwise, I think it's generally pretty good. Which aspect of the new Type 2 ship girls added in this update are you particularly satisfied with? The art is great. I mean, hands down, the art is really fantastic for them. I think for me, the rarity of the ship girl met my expectations because we knew we were going to get a new ultra rare ship, and I also think that having the Type 2 ship girls adds character and depth to the ship girls also. Which aspect of the new swimsuit skins are you particularly satisfied with? Choose at most 3 items. Only 3? How can I only pick 3? How is that possible? I don't know. I mean, they're all good. They're all good. So the art is of high quality. I do want to keep that because that's important, and they definitely met that expectation. Like the swimsuit theme, definitely keeping that up there. So the third one, I mean, there were a lot of them, you know, that's always really good. I like the ship girls with the new skin. The quality of the live 2D skins is high. I mean, I can only pick one of these. Dynamic skins are of good value. I think they are, actually. I like the dynamic skins' dynamic effects. There is an abundance of swimsuit skins. I mean, I feel like that is a natural pick that, I mean, is kind of all-encompassing. There's a lot of them, there's high quality, and I like the theme. But I would like to say something nice about the dynamic skins, just because they were introduced and debuted in this event, and maybe maybe I can make it. I can just write something in later. But I think that this covers my thoughts essentially. Is that the live 2D is always quality. The dynamic skins are a great addition. But I mean, generally speaking, I'm just so thrilled that the theme is back and the art is amazing as usual. So next, which aspect of the new Christmas skins do you think can be improved? I don't like the ship girls on the new skins. I mean, that's not really true. I feel like don't like is a little... It's a little extreme. I mean, they're not my favorites. Bailey's certainly not. I'm not a huge fan of Bailey. Princeton I actually do like, but it's not like she's one of my favorites. So that alone does not incentivize me in going in for the Christmas skin. So I think that that's probably an accurate representation, even though, you know, it's a little extreme there. It's not like I don't like them, but yeah. Which of the following descriptions fits your game experience with Azur Lane the best in 2022? So I'd say pretty squarely, I have played almost all limited events in 2022 and aim to clear the event exchange shop most of the time. So next, based on your game experience in 2022, what do you think of Azur Lane as a whole? I mean, I am satisfied with it, especially with this latest event. So I'm going to put very satisfying. Regarding in-game text, story, character profiles, gears and skill description, UI text, what are you unsatisfied with or think can be improved? Interesting. Generally speaking, I don't really have any problems with the UI or the font, especially not in line with any of these choices. And the one thing that I did note, you know, secondary speech box should be movable to other places on the main screen, not just hidden away, because you can toggle it like on and off. But I feel like they should give us the option of actually moving it to another place on the main screen. Based on your game experience in 2022, what do you think of Azur Lane's different event format and gameplay features? So we're starting with Operation Siren. I mean, I think I'm generally satisfied with Operation Siren. I'm like dancing between satisfied and not sure, just because, I think some of the rewards can certainly be revamped and made better, but I'm like also generally satisfied. Maybe we pick not sure, because it might ask a follow-up question about OpSci and the reward structure. Minor events, so joint battle and SP events. SP events for that last 2 weeks, like Virtual Tower, and the joint battle events like Fight on Royal Maid. So basically these mini events where they do introduce new ships, but it's not like a full-fledged big batch and big event. I mean, I think generally speaking, I found them pretty satisfying. I would say between satisfying and very satisfying, so I'll just pick satisfying. Collab events, the Atelier Ryza 2 collaboration. I found this to be extremely satisfying. Like, if I could pick something beyond very satisfying, I would. I think that most people felt like it was just a really well put together event. Light rerun events, 1 week reruns of past major events like Northern Overture rerun. For me personally, I find them satisfying. I know some people have reservations about the fact that they are truncated, and I do have issues with the fact that they're truncated too, that hopefully it'll let me elaborate on. But otherwise, I think I'm satisfied with them. 2 week events have new ultra rare ships like Violet Tempest, Blooming Lycris, Pledge of the Radiant Court. I would say, generally speaking, I'm very satisfied with them. So, yeah, I think we can move on there. Regarding Operation Siren, what are you unsatisfied with or think can be improved? So, efficiency to get rewards is low and takes a long time to get what I want. Yeah, I think so. Anytime they can make increased efficiency for the player, I think is a good thing. So, if we plant that seed, I mean, that's a priority. Higher requirements regarding what ship girls I need in my fleet. Trouble clearing? No. In my current rooster. My commander level is too low for me to unlock Operation Siren. Gameplay is not fun and challenging. It is challenging for most like mid-level players. Gameplay takes too much time overall. Yeah, maybe. It does. It is a bit of a grind, I mean, to get to where you need to, especially with the resets. Actually, speaking of, with the resets, the Operation Siren data logger should cost less oil. I think so anyway. 5,000 oil is a pretty good chunk of oil, and especially if you're in the middle of grinding an event, it can be a bit of an annoyance to actually have to splurge on that data logger. So, obviously it's optional, you don't have to get it, but the reality is that it's just so much simpler and easier to get that. Regarding SP events and joint battle events, what are you unsatisfied with or think can be improved? You know, personally, I'm pretty okay with these, at least with the frequency of them and sort of the time commitment. I mean, I think they could be a little bit more fleshed out, so maybe some new skins, maybe some more ship girls, because I think that was a pretty common complaint that they kind of stalls the release of new ship girls, so releasing more of them would be nice. I don't like the style theme, too many of them. No, I think it's kind of hit a pretty good happy medium. After the boss is defeated and the server rewards are sent out, there's not much to do. I mean, you do have the personal rewards, but as far as like the main line event itself, it's kind of over at that point, and usually it's over after just like a couple of days, and then you've got like the rest of the week or week and a half or whatever to fill in and just basically grind the same stage over and over and over again. So yeah, I might actually make a separate note there. But SP events, rewards, shop items are lacking, and I'm just gonna put here. Joint battle events too redundant with battling the same boss 100 times. Yeah, I mean, you're doing the exact same battle over and over and over again, and just waiting for it to finish essentially. So, you know, there could be a little bit more spice added to that in some way, shape, or form. Now, this is really interesting and possibly a little controversial. So, regarding light rerun events, what are you unsatisfied with or think can be improved? I think a lot of people, especially newer players, are going to pick, I don't have enough resources to build the ship girls I want. I personally actually don't think this is an issue for the most part. I think that if you follow efficient cube farming and coin farming, you're not going to really run into this issue unless you do all of your front-loaded builds on like day one, or like you splurge and like basically go hard on a single light event rather than waiting for like the next raid up whenever that happens. Because sometimes, especially early on, you got to kind of build up your reserve of resources. So I'm actually not going to pick that, but I do think a lot of people are going to choose that, which is totally fine. I totally get it. Now, I will say the map drop and the shop items are lacking. I think they do need to take a look at the shop items and try to update them. I think that would just be a really nice quality of life thing. And I think I am going to choose, I have played them before, so the rerun doesn't add much new content or experience. Obviously, for veteran players coming back in, I feel like the downtime is actually pretty nice because you don't have to go in hard on a particular event at that time, and you can kind of coast and do your dailies and just build up back your reserves of cubes and coins and, you know, everything else. But like them dropping like some skins or some other stuff, maybe like a little side story, would be nice to go along with the light rerun. I was also torn because I was also thinking about picking. I have played the rerun stages before. I wanted to have an easier way to get the rewards, but as it currently stands, they already kind of do that because it stores and saves your progress, so you don't have to like go through all of the stages again like you did as if it was your first time through. Have you ever bought game-related merch from the following channels, not limited to Azur Lane? I just wrote in here Hobby Link Japan and overseas proxies. I mean, I guess technically I'm not buying from the proxy, I'm buying through the proxy, but I guess I can just note it there. Which of the following descriptions fits your experience the most? I have bought merch from the Yostar official store before. My total spending is definitely over $50. Where have you heard about the Yostar official store from? Choose at most 2. Please recall the first instance. The first instance? I mean, I think for me, it was probably the official Twitter and YouTube, I would say. I think that makes the most sense, because it would have been like the live stream. What kinds of merch do you prefer? Choose at most 5 items. This is interesting. Okay, so books, for sure. I always like books. Special holiday anniversary commemoration boxes, I think definitely. Like trinkets, like acrylic keychain, no. Stationery, no, not really. Clothing, not really. Mobile accessories, I mean, they can be useful, but no, I don't think so. Tech accessories like mouse pads. Others, I'm just going to say, actually. Alright, so for others, I am just going to say oath certificates because I feel like they dropped the ball after the 3rd anniversary. Anniversary box was just so well received. It had that really beautiful set with the oath skins and the oath certificates and the sleeves and everything. Like, they could have released so much more and expanded on that and just made, I feel like, a ton of money off of that, and they didn't really touch it again. And then maybe some food items like curry, cola, coffee, tea, chocolates modeled after in-game items like the Pomiat Mercuria, Valentine's chocolate, and card in JP. I mean, I think that was really well received. I think a lot of people were like excited at the art, the unique art that came with Kuchan and the card that came with it. So like maybe there's some logistical reasons why they can't ship these overseas. I mean, I don't know. But like the coffee and the tea, that was like a whole theme earlier this year. That can like definitely, you could ship that dry, no problem. Like the Iron Blood had that whole, you know, coffee versus tea thing, and then, you know, the Royal Navy had the tea. That's like their thing, is like is tea. So I don't know, I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know. In what ways do you think the Yostar official store should prioritize improving? Choose at most 4 items. So, I mean, I feel like the pricing is pretty decent for most of the items. It's the shipping that's borderline outrageous. And like, to be fair, they're shipping overseas in almost all cases, and overseas shipping can be a huge burden. Website doesn't show enough details. I want more detailed information and photos. Maybe a little bit. You know, I do think that that's the case, especially for the recent pop-up book. So the recent pop-up book, like, we didn't know any details about how it was going to work or anything. And so there was a lot of people were left in the dark about if they even wanted it. And then, like, towards the release, they released a little video that showcased like how the pop-up book worked, and it looks super sick. I think if they showed that early on, people would have been really impressed with it. But like, you know, people didn't see what it was all about. There were also like videos they posted on the Twitter of the heat-sensitive towels and stuff like that. So I do think they need to update, you know, what's on the website. More types of merch, such as, I'm just gonna copy and paste what I had up there, the food items and the oath certificates, and I've got one more. Improved delivery efficiency, as the delivery experience is currently lacking currently. I mean, it takes a while, but it's overseas. Like, that's completely understandable. Quality of the merch is very good, actually. More merch that don't feature characters but other elements. More merch that use artworks from in-game. Others, please note, I'm generally satisfied. I would say maybe the delivery efficiency. I mean, maybe just because it doesn't really fit neatly into delivery efficiency, because that, like, I think that talks about the speed, which I can definitely see people having some issues with the speed overall, but it is overseas, and that can take some time. I'm actually going to separate it out. Shipping costs are just way too high. In the past 3 months, what type of Azur Lane related contents do you look for on social media? Multiple. Choose the corresponding option if you've looked at any contents that fit the description in the past 3 months. Cosplay, official commemorative art, fan animations, showcase of ship girls and skins. Now, under others, this is actually not a bad spot to name drop some of your favorite content creators here, potentially. Just you know, just saying, you may want to drop a couple here and there, you know. Regarding Azur Lane fan art, which of the following descriptions fits your impression best? I see Azur Lane fan art regularly on my social media timeline, I would say. Regarding Azur Lane fan art, which of the following descriptions fits your situation best? There are artist tags, communities I follow, will retweet, repost, or like the good ones. I think that's probably accurate. What types of Azur Lane commemoration art do you retweet, repost, or like more? Different art style from the original character, make them refreshing. No. Ones created by artists I like or follow, such as these. Yeah, okay, I definitely gotta click on that one. We'll fill that in. Similar style to the original art. Ones that provide a lot of fan service, yes please. Ones that are my favorite characters. Commemorative for big occasions, holidays, anniversaries. Ones created by the original artists of the characters. I mean, I would say that that's probably more important to me than the multiple characters that feel like a scene or a story. Specific regions? No, I don't really care about specific regions. The ones created by artists I like or follow, such as, please add artists. So this is like the perfect spot to name drop artists, like your favorite artists in the game, to Yostar and Manju, just so that, you know, maybe they can continue to make more ships in the game. These are the ones that just kind of like first came to mind for me. But there's so many good artists in the game. I don't want to like neglect any of them. They're all amazing. But Kinkora, of course, of Indomitable, Glorious, Sirius Dido fame, Yunsong, so many of my favorites. Taiho, St. Louis, Zara, Pola, Honolulu, there's just, you know, Aegir, there's so many great hits. Dishwasher, of course, Prince Heinrich, and Prince Adalbert, as well as Kronstadt. You've got Kakage, who has done Sadelitz, I believe, but I would love to see them get more work for sure. Kaboon. Now, Kaboon has not done any ships in the game. I believe that he was commissioned to do one of the Celebration artworks, but of course he does do a lot of Azur Lane fan art on his Twitter, and obviously I'm a big fan of Kaboon, so I would love to see him eventually get a ship to work with. Sencha, for the time being, only has Revenge, but I also know that they've done at least one of the loading screens. Would love to see them get more work. Zelda, of course, New Jersey, Cheshire, gotta love it. Yoshiku, at this point, has only really done Aljuri, and some, like, celebratory artworks and loading screens. Would love to see them do more work in the game. Shio, obviously, Atago, Azuma, North Carolina, Graf Zeppelin, and etc. So yeah, I could go on and on and on. Obviously, there's so many that you could put in here. In the past month, what other mobile games are you playing? Oh boy. Alright, so we got Epic 7, Fate Grand Order, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Fire Emblem Heroes, Genshin Impact, Nikke, Blue Archive, and then in others we've got Destiny Child, War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which is different, Bleach Brave Souls, One Piece Treasure Cruise, Brave 9, Seven Sins Ecstasy. Technically, I also have an account with KOF All-Stars, but I haven't really logged in a really long time. But I still have the account, so I'll go ahead and just slap that in here. And then here is the catch-all. If you have any other suggestions or advice for Azur Lane, please share with us, and we will appreciate it. So this is kind of like a blanket statement. Whatever you want to give them as far as advice, slap it in here. I think I'm going to probably populate what I put in the first survey that hasn't really been addressed yet. So first of all, I like to start things off by giving them a little positive reinforcement, thanking them for things that they've done the past year that have gone in the right direction, and just reinforcing that, making sure that they know that we really appreciate them and what they do. So I said, thank you so much for bringing back swimsuit skins. We really appreciate you releasing so many fan service skins this past month. Your previous events were pretty tame, other than the Race Queens. I'm really happy to see the return of this caliber of quality. Dynamic skins were so awesome, such a great idea. They're just this fantastic middle ground between Live 2D and static. Absolutely want to see more of this as the standard going forward. More interactions on the Live 2D. All Live 2Ds at this point should have some interactions now. That's the new standard set, strap tugging, unzipping, stocking, pulling, whatever it is. Prince Heinrich's Live 2D and Bremerton's recent Live 2D didn't have any interactions, and that's really, really sad. So I think they really need to try to incorporate at least some interactions with each Live 2D, and now the dynamics are going to be like the ones that aren't interactive at all, and that's just kind of like upping the quality, upping the standards in general, which I think is a good thing. Game size. Okay, so the game is just way too large, and a lot of players have quit due to size limitations. Please create a light version of the game or a way to reset the app size. I think a lot of this has been echoed constantly in my comments, for sure. I know that there are people that have been dropping the game because of it, and it's really unfortunate. I know they're working on it, but it's good to. This is a good opportunity to kind of like push that forward again. So random skins. So the Secretary Randomizer I think is really awesome. It's a nice addition for sure, a nice quality of life change. But what I would like is the ability to lock in the Secretary and have her randomly change into different skins depending on the time of the year. More content creator collabs with community involvement and working together on news and reveals. Obviously, this is admittedly a selfish request, but certainly would love to work more with Yostar and Manju on official releases and live streams and like anything else that they feel like we could be the conduit to the community through. More secretary slots. They did expand the secretary slots like 2 years ago or something. So I feel like they could expand it a little bit more. More oath skins. So I feel like we have a criminally low amount of oath skins released throughout the year. It feels like they're only reserved for anniversaries. Granted, we get like 3 anniversaries a year technically with China, Japan, and global. But like even so, I just feel like it's underutilized. I mean, they could release so many oath skins. And that would incentivize people to either use their rings or buy rings, and increase the amount of purchases that people make in general. More skin event stories. So I absolutely love the skin stories that they added this year with the maid cafes battling each other, and then the most recent batch they have the little side stories for each of the skins. I feel like that just adds a ton of personality to the skins and the character, the ship girl as well. So I don't know. I really like those. I really like that addition. I feel like that also creates context for the skin a little bit, which I think is a lot of fun. Light rerun, map drop increase. So this is a carryover from the last survey, and I kind of hinted at that from earlier in the survey, when we were talking about light reruns, but 1 week for light reruns really deserves a 2x map drop for ships and gears, since we don't have as much time to farm. Yeah, that's one of the more valid complaints that I've heard about light reruns. In the 1 week time, you have half the time to grind that map for a ship drop or a gear drop, and so it just makes logical sense, I think, to double the rate there. And we'll sign things off with thanks again for listening to our feedback, and looking forward to a wonderful 2023 for Azur Lane. So let's go ahead and send this off. All right. Submitted successfully. Dear Commander, thank you for your participation. So, all right. Well, that was pretty meaty, but it really wasn't that bad to run through. I mean, they're explicitly asking for feedback about the event structure of the last year. I know people out there have their issues and reservations with that stuff. So this is your chance. This is your chance to get them to listen. So this is a great opportunity to get your voice heard. They were explicitly asking about the event structures and about merchandise and all that good stuff. So definitely take some time to take a minute or two and just kind of fill this out, because I really do think that it's going to impact the game going forward. But let me know in the comments below what I missed, what you put in your survey, what you may disagree with me about in my own survey. Again, I just wanted to put something out real quick because I do think that this is important to just encourage people to participate in this, because I think that it makes a difference. So hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Azur Lane content. We thank you all so much for watching, for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those waters.